Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, not. Let's see, what do the tea leaves have in store for you? Oh, we have a big kitty cat. Look at that. That's cute. All right. Looks like we might have some kind of moth. All right, all right. Oh, and there it is. The heart. All right. Well, we have some interesting things going on for you, Scorpio. It looks like there's some love. There's some, well, I think there's some real, like, companionship, even. I think that it's maybe romantic love, but I think the big thing is that there's this companionship going on. And as we know, we've almost all been around cats, I imagine, that a cat can be very loving, but it's so much on their own terms. You cannot force them to love you. And so I feel like to some degree, and I feel like maybe this is more you. I feel like you might be the cat in this situation. I feel like it has been a growing closeness with somebody in your life, okay? Somebody new. I think this is a newer person to your life. And I don't know if you maybe met like through work or through mutual friends, something. Maybe, some common interest. But I think that you have kind of cultivated a friendship. There's like kind of a real ease to your communication. I think that you laugh a lot together. You have a lot of like little jokes and you text a lot, and all of that has been really good. And I think that you really, I get this feeling that it's like you wake up just like excited to kind of talk to them. And I think the feeling is reciprocated. Okay, and I don't know if it's exactly that this is a romantic thing. It could be platonic for sure. But I do think that this person is really interested in becoming more a part of your personal life, and kind of maybe meeting your other friends. And I get the feeling that, and this is where this cat thing kind of comes together for me, is that they kind of really are pushing you to let them in. And what really comes through is kind of this feeling of wanting to like meet your friends or like your family. And I think it's really more the family. And I want to go back just a step, and the moth here really represents to me that this person is so drawn to you. You both are so drawn to each other, okay? You're both kind of that moth tapping against the lamp. But I think that you're getting kind of skittish, a little bit like you don't know if you're ready for this kind of amount of change, letting somebody close to you. I think that for the most part, however your life is configured, it's been going pretty, smoothly, right? I feel like it's smooth. You don't have a lot of problems, not a lot of drama, that kind of thing. But I think that you really have a lot of reservations about, especially kind of letting them meet your people. And I think that part of that is maybe that, and I'm seeing, like, I see a little dragon. I see this person right here with their arm kind of extended up. It almost looks like they're kind of like wagging their finger, right? And I wonder if you have had kind of a difficult, if like maybe complicated relationship with your family. And it's hard to bring new people around them. It's hard to introduce people to them. And I think that I almost think that I feel like there's a kind of worry of like, maybe not anger now, but I feel like it's in the past, in the old days, maybe when you were a kid even, there were a lack of boundaries, maybe kind of some unregulated ways of communicating, displays of anger, just a sense of not being respected and your boundaries not being respected. And I think it's taken a lot of work for you to get to a place where you feel like you don't have to think about that stuff as much anymore. You've probably, to some degree, resolved some of that old pain with them. Maybe discussed it, maybe not. I don't know. But I think that there's always kind of a feeling of, maybe when you get around them, or you bring people to, from your now life to meet them, it's like you almost revert back to feeling like a kid again. Like they're going to treat you like a child. They're going to treat you with like that, not having the respect that you deserve. And just one second here. And so I really feel like there's like, to kind of avoid having to go through all of this or even explain it to this person, you have this real like skittish kind of vibe going on where I think that like you even just like don't necessarily return messages. You maybe disappear for days at a time. You just really are, when you feel emotionally pushed in some way, you become kind of inconsistent and unreachable. And so I think that it's been difficult for the person trying to, get to know you, trying to be a part of your life. And I think it's been difficult for you because I feel that you really, really value this relationship, the dynamic you have when things are comfortable. Let me look. Oh, and I'm looking at this here on this side. It looks very much like this could be a ram. So I wonder if this is like an Aries person. So they might be a little more pushy than you like. Okay. They might be very persistent. Okay. And but see, the thing though, I think, is that you don't necessarily realize like how accepting they would be if you just told them plainly what is going on with you. Okay. So I think that it might be in your favor to really just try to be vulnerable, open and vulnerable with them. Maybe you don't have to go into all the details, but I don't think that it's out of the realm of understanding that to tell somebody, I just really don't have a relationship with my family like that, or it's not important for me for them to know, like, you know, my friends or the people that I'm dating or whatever. So I think just like the open communication will take you a long way, because if this is like an Aries or even Capricorn person, I think that they're going to be very understanding and, you know, willing to kind of, you know, work with you in your comfort zone. And I think that, you know, maybe they are perceiving you're kind of being a little wish-washy as kind of being coy, or kind of needing somebody to take the lead and kind of make a decision so, you know, we can get to the next step together. But I think really just being open and honest is going to take you a long way there. And I want to bring up the card that I pulled, which is the Two of Discs. Okay, and this one is from the Thoth deck, and it is related to change. Okay, and we see kind of this crowned Ouroboros in that infinity, infinity formation, and very much all about kind of the change, the exchange of energies from not only the duality, but the macro and the micro, the physical and the spirit, and so forth. So it kind of flows up and down back into each other. And so I think really, you know, with this relationship, there is an opportunity, and with the things coming up in this relationship, I think there's an opportunity for you to also kind of take a look at some of these blockages that might be coming up. Because I think in the long term, and I mean over the span of your life, right, this stuff is going to continue to come up. You're not going to get away from it. You know, it's going to end up manifesting again at some point. And, you know, I think that often when something feels very uncomfortable, we don't always have to deal with it right then, obviously, especially if it's something that is based in, you know, trauma, or just from our development, things that were difficult, or incidents that have, you know, taken place that you just really don't feel that, you know, you can go over those things. And that's fine. Of course, we give ourselves the space and empathy to not really, to push ourselves where we should not be going, right? But sometimes, you know, these opportunities come up, and we have those little moments of bravery for whatever reason, where we decide, okay, we're gonna work on this, and it's not always easy, but, you know, I think that this could be a time to kind of work on changing some of those dynamics with your family, maybe some communication. I don't know. Or, you know, these things could be just, you know, normal feelings that anybody might have about their family without any kind of, you know, terrible relationship having happened, or incidents or situations. And maybe just this is like the first person you might bring home, and that's, you know, scary, or you just don't want to deal with having to talk to your family about it or whatever. But maybe it would be, kind of an interesting exercise to bring that first person home. I don't know, you know. Or I don't know, maybe, maybe this is like a new relationship after a marriage, or, the first relationship you've had in a long time, or, there's so many things. There's so many reasons it's difficult to interact with the family and take your time and, I understand that. I will wait till the very last minute to, interact with anybody in my family. It's terrible to say, but it's not because I don't want to. I just don't. First of all, I don't really think of it, but I don't know. I don't like to bother people with my stuff. I just kind of like do my life, and then I basically met my husband and, created a family with him with like minimal contact with mostly anybody that I consider family. We would do the small talk and check up on each other and stuff, but I'm not a big person to like give a lot of, big announcements and stuff. And so, I understand, but I also think that it is nice to, when somebody is coming into the fold of your life, right, to make them feel welcomed in some way, and also go through the ritual of welcoming them into your life and getting to know some of the people that are around you and so on. So, I don't really see like it's not necessarily a big problem here. I'm seeing also kind of, that moth kind of looks like a bird here. And I wonder if, something like writing about this wouldn't be helpful to you. When I'm seeing a bird like this, I'm thinking you're in your higher thought. You're really kind of, looking at this a little more in kind of a little bit of a detached creative zone, maybe, trying to kind of, sift through some of the stuff and, look at it a little more philosophically. And maybe that would be helpful for you to go ahead and, kind of create or write off of the positioning that you have found yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, and might be really helpful to resolve some of the issues that you have going on with whatever, your choice might be going forward. So, let's see. And I'm seeing this one. It looks like somebody fishing now. And to me, really, I see kind of a little sailboat right here. I think that you just really have this, I feel like there's just this desire for like being in a serene state, just kind of like with minimal stimuli. Maybe it would be interesting if you could take, like a weekend to just kind of go and do something by yourself. Step away from the phone and the communication and all of these things, and just really go out and let yourself just come to a place of kind of a, non-emotional, non-problem solving, just kind of a state of flow. Kind of like what you do when you're fishing, you know, well, it depends on what kind of fishing you're doing, but I'm thinking of like with the little bobber things, just cast it and let it sit. Just stare at the water for a while, look at the sky, watch the birds, just kind of, you know, sit and wait in your own thoughts. And maybe doing something like this, really being very like intentional about going off grid, as people like to call it, just, you know, for a day or two, so that you can kind of cleanse yourself of all the things that are kind of stirring around in your head, and maybe not even thinking about what you might do going forward, but just kind of emptying yourself out of all of that stuff. And I think then making some room for some clarity. Okay. I think that might be a great idea. Let's look at this one. So I see a B, a J, and an O. Okay, so these look like important. Maybe J-O, like Joe. And then we have a B. Okay, and then I just see this little turtle over here by itself. I think just, you know, continuing to go slow with things. Like I said, I think that really if you were just open and honest and, you know, kind of, if you do want this relationship, this friendship to continue to grow and, you know, be kind of prosperous as far as relationships go, I think it's important for you to have some degree of being vulnerable and just, you know, letting it be known that this is not about this person. It's about, you know, an existing dynamic and where your comfort zone is. I think that, you know, it's easy to feel like you cannot define your boundaries with somebody that you're wanting to explore a relationship or friendship with, because you don't want to have these limitations, but you also don't want them to think that you're like very rigid about things. And I don't think that they're going to feel that way. I think it's healthy, and it's, you know, there's a confidence that comes about in being able to tell somebody, I just don't want to do this, and tell them why, you know, because I think that unspoken stuff, it's left to interpretation. And I think, you know, that's where people can kind of like take it more personally, build things up in their own head about like what is going on, what's not happening, you know. And so I think just being very clear will do a world of difference here. Okay, I think that's our reading tonight. I am so tired. This is, for us, we celebrated Easter. So this is the end of my day after cooking and going to stuff and Easter egg hunts and cleaning and sugar, and I'm just ready. So I thank you so much for letting me read for you, and I'm always so honored to bring you these messages, and thank you for putting up with my I'm sure I sound pretty tired. But if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm and reach more people, which is awesome. We're building this channel up one person at a time, and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. If you hit the little bell thing, it will notify you when videos come out. I'm doing 2 readings a day, 6 days a week. So every week there's a reading for each sign. So Scorpio will be read in 1 week from now. In the meantime, you can watch your other sign placements, solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and I know people like to watch their Venus. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, please do so. I love hearing from you guys, and you all are so sweet, and I love just hearing how you relate to the readings and, you know, the things that are happening in your life and how you're feeling. And yeah, so all right. Thank you, Scorpio. We will talk again in a few days.